What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. And for those who don't know, Terence Bud Crawford has suffered an injury, and he's pulling out of the Jeff Horn welterweight WBO championship bout. Now, what does that mean? That means, for one, that saves Jeff Horn's ass. You know, that's what it happens. I mean, it's unfortunate for Terence Crawford because I knew he was going to come up there to make a statement because this was his coming out party to the welterweight division. And, and it really depends on how long will the injury, how severe is the injury. A lot of times they want to make sure it's properly healed before getting him back out there and punching anything. And that's really one of the worst things that you can injure is one of your weapons. I don't know which hand that he injured, but either one, because, Terence Crawford is a switch hitter, so he can switch from southpaw to orthodox. So, he needs both of his hands effectively, hey, it is what it is. Let's just hope it's not severe, but it is an injury. It's not just hurt, you know what I mean? So, it's really on who Jeff Horn or really what Bob Arum plans to do now, because he has two guys, one injured, then he has Jeff Horn. Will he throw Jeff Horn in there with someone else? That's the question. How you got to ask yourself, well, since he's hurt, what will they do? What will they do? If I was Errol Spence, I would be trying to get that other belt that has me a better bargaining chip, to everybody else in the weight class. Because, which I doubt that Bob Arum will throw Jeff Horn in there with Errol Spence if that fight can even be made. But if I was Errol Spence, I would definitely want that fight. Then we could see a Crawford Errol Spence fight a lot sooner than later. Because it was going to inevitably happen anyway, because if Terence Crawford beats Jeff Horn, then Terence Crawford has a belt. Then Terence Crawford is all about unification. But this way, they could throw Jeff Horn in there. In a perfect world, Jeff Horn can fight Errol Spence. And now, Errol Spence will have the IBF and the WBO. And that leaves Keith Thurman with the WBC and the WBA. So, then you would only have two champs. So, and then after the Thurman, whoever fight, right, one welterweight will have all four portions of the title. So it looks like a good idea. But, I hope that Terence Crawford, because he's hurt, he doesn't get bumped off, of his rankings, because a lot of times if a fighter is injured, they just go to the next person. So if it's not the first, they'll go to the next available person that you can actually fight. So that could happen, and it might not be Errol Spence, because I don't know how Errol Spence is even ranked in the WBO, if he's ranked at all. I got to do some research on that. But it was wishful thinking. Putting him in there would make a lot of sense for Errol Spence, business-wise, and legacy-wise too. So it makes all types of sense. So, but yeah, this is bad news, man, for boxing, because it looks like the guy, the Avenger, the Crusader, really, Terence Crawford, that, he declared war on 147 pounds, just like Lara, supposedly declared war at 160, but Terence Crawford, I think it was really about his business, and it's unfortunate that he hurt himself, but let's just hope he gets back, healed and ready to go. And, so we won't have more injury before. So it would be better if they did take their time to make sure that his hand is properly healed before getting out there and half-ass patched it up. And then, and something really goes wrong with his hand, or he hurts it in a fight and it's not really healed, because that happens all the time just for sake of a fight. You can ask Manny Pacquiao that if that was legitimate. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyhow, speaking of Manny Pacquiao, that particular fight may come into a part two, may surface now. So that could be another angle that Jeff Horn and Pacquiao will fight again. Which I don't want to see that fight again. I don't want to see Manny Pacquiao fight again. I want him to retire. He's done enough for the sport of boxing, and I'm done with that. Okay? But back to Terence Crawford. You know, he's still talented. You know, again, we don't know the extent of his injuries as of yet. You know, I don't even know what hand he hurt it. You know, he injured. So, but he will be back sooner than later, hopefully. But if it's later, you know, hopefully it'll be at 100%, so he can take on and declare war at the 147-pound division. So, but anyway, you guys tell me what you think about this tragedy. And this is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. You guys been counterpunched. Peace.